My name is Starla Sneed. I'm the owner of the Divine Studio and Gallery, and I help those who are suffering from depression, anxiety, and trauma find hope and healing through art so that they can express themselves artistically and find their true creative energies. I have overcome many challenges in my own life, from a family of alcoholism and abuse, losing my father at the age of 12, to abortion, drugs, alcohol in my own life, and divorce. And in all of these failed experiences and losses, my biggest challenge has been moving from a place of being a victim to a place of wholeness. That is, learning to be authentic, who God has called me to be, and to use my gifts and talents to their fullest potential. My creative journey began 17 years ago with the birth of my oldest son. Before that, I was an environmental trainer in West Virginia, and I traveled the state working with water operators, training them to pass the new EPA guidelines. So whatever they needed to pass the test. So I taught chemistry, math, personal communication skills, whatever they needed to pass the tests. I absolutely loved my job. Then remarried, and that was not conducive to a happy marriage. I was leaving on Monday, coming home on Friday, working weekends. Faith has always been a huge part of my lifelong journey. So I was fortunate enough to be able to take some time off, and in prayer, asking, what do you want me to do next? And lo and behold, I was pregnant. And that's significant because in my early 20s, I was diagnosed with endometriosis, and I was told I would never be able to have children. So that wasn't even on the radar at all. We did what all new parents do. We read all the books. We did all the right things. I decided to be a stay-at-home mom because that's what all good moms do. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. My husband's mom was a stay-at-home mom. But I was miserable and found myself in a deep depression. I had a friend invite me to a calligraphers guild in West Virginia, and they were doing learning calligraphy and watercolor flowers. And it just totally opened up new arenas for me, and lo and behold, I was actually good at it. And so during the next few years, I just poured my heart into it. It became my therapy, my go-to, my everything. And one of my favorite pastimes is to go yard sailing. And so at a particular yard sale, I bought a little hand engraver, battery operated, 50 cents. And I put it in my craft drawer. And it was about a year and a half later, my mom calls and asks, can you put your fancy writing in glass? And I'm like, I don't know, I have this. Pulled it out. It was horrible, it was wobbly, but yet it was beautiful. And so that's when I started my business in West Virginia, Designs by Starla, calligraphy and engraving services. So fast forward 10 years ago, my husband's job brought us here to Illinois. So my husband had a new job, I have 2 sons now, and they had school, and then I found myself again struggling. Where do I fit in? Where do I belong? What do I do? And again, found myself struggling with depression. I discovered online Zentangle. Zen is the peaceful tangles a repetitive pattern. Most people know it as the precursor to the adult coloring books. And so again, I poured myself into my art. It was the only thing that made sense to me at the time. And I Zentangled my way out of depression. I showed it to my mom, who's a 2-time breast cancer survivor and has struggled with depression. And just to see that spark in her eye, like, look what I created, this is so cool. And then I have my youngest son struggles with anxiety and ADHD. And to see him learning some of the patterns and watching him focus and sit still, it was just amazing. So I decided to become certified so that I could share that gift with others. Alcohol inks came into the picture a few years later. I was doing Zentangle on a Christmas ornament. Didn't like how it was going. Took an alcohol pad and was trying to wipe it off. And it started spreading. I got super excited because I had alcohol inks in my craft drawer. Alcohol inks are pigment dissolved in isopropanol, which gives them the characteristic of very vibrant in color, very flowing, and they dry really quickly. During 2018, with the loss of my stepfather, during that time I was doing a 30-day art challenge. So every day for 30 days, creating a piece of art. And I decided to do background papers with the alcohol inks. About midway through, I said, you know what, I'm going to fold it together and make a mini book. And it really spoke to me, Psalm 23. So created a book, Psalm 23, an inspirational art book, which is now on Amazon. But part of creating that and meditating on that scripture brought me to that place of hope and healing. And so again, art for me has always been hope and healing. 2019, I lost my mom, and that was really a struggle because we had a lot of dreams together. One of them was having my own studio and gallery. So in June of last year, was introduced to the space here at the Creative Arts Center. And this is a place of hope and healing. This is where I share my experiences, my hope, my healing. I teach classes, calligraphy, Zentangle, alcohol inks, and other mixed media techniques. So please go to thedivinestudio.com, and there you will find my Divine Authenticity Reality Check. It is a short quiz that will kind of let you know where you're at, and then I offer a free 30-minute consultation where we can talk about where hope and healing might benefit you.